Hello, YouTube. I'm James, and I'm about to start a series of videos where I try to get my friends into Doctor Who. So here's the thing: I enjoy Doctor Who, and not enough of my friends, I feel, enjoy Doctor Who, or at least watch Doctor Who. I guess they don't need to enjoy it, anyways. So the plan is that I will randomly determine for them two episodes from the modern era, so from 2005, and I have gotten my friends to watch them, and then I'm gonna talk about it with them and see what they thought, and uh, yeah, talk about the episodes. Some guiding principles. One, I do like Doctor Who, but not all of Doctor Who is good. Um, There's some real stinkers in there. We'll get to some of them. Number two, the hypothesis of this experiment is that it won't work. In that it will not work to just show someone a random episode of Doctor Who and they will be into it. That's called a null hypothesis. That means that if the hypothesis is wrong, then I still win because my friends are still into Doctor Who, and that's great. But if I'm right, my hypothesis is justified. So, number three, the episodes have been randomly determined. I literally rolled some dice and got the episodes that I told people to watch. I specifically assigned people to different pairs of episodes, either based on what they had seen before or pretty much only that factor. But the point is, if I rolled the second part of a two-parter, I did not instruct my friends to watch the first part of the two-parter. So we'll see how this goes. Oh, and also the video quality is about to drastically change because I'm recording this on my phone, and I spoke to the people on my laptop. So good luck watching this.
Well, ain't no use me hanging around the town. Ain't no use.
Here we are. For sure. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. So yeah, just to go over again, the goal is you are a friend of mine who does not currently like actively watch Doctor Who,
Right.
or perhaps enjoy it. So I have randomly determined for you two episodes to watch, and now we're going to talk about those episodes.
Rad.
Yeah, but you have watched Doctor Who before, though.
Yeah, I was pretty much caught up to, like, the last series that I watched in full was 7.
Cool. With that was the end of Matt Smith then.
Yeah. Straight up to the point where he pops into like Christmas Town or whatever, and then
Yeah.
he gets more lives out of the big crack in the sky. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful episode, and I'm sure that I will watch it with someone else down the ways, but I haven't rolled it yet. Yeah, and then you sort of stopped, but you watched a couple here and there with people and so on.
Yeah. It sort of fell out of it.
Fair enough. I think that is a fairly common experience with some people. But I had you watch Spyfall Part 2 and Demons of the Punjab. Which one do you want to talk about first?
Chronologically, it's Punjab and then Spyfall, right? So
yeah,
let's start with Punjab.
Sweet.
Because I watched it in that order.
Great. So Demons of the Punjab. Hell yeah. Series 11, episode 6. Slap bang in the middle of the first episode of the first series, rather, of Jodie Whittaker, 13th Doctor. Written by Vinay Patel, directed by Jamie Childs. It's so yeah, a plot synopsis, and feel free to chime in, dang, whenever. It's Yaz's grandma or Nani's birthday, and they're hanging out, and Yaz's grandma says that Yaz is her favorite grandchild, and that's very good. And gives her a watch that was her husband's. And Yaz is like, hey, I would like to go see my grandma when she is young, and goes to the doctor, and they do that, and they go to Lahore in 1947.
Took you a second.
Yeah, it did. Because the
all your Indian and Pakistani viewers right now are already like out with the pitchforks.
All of them. They're all out with the pitchforks. All 0.5 of them.
You gotta know more brown people than that, James. Come on.
I'm sure I do. It's just a matter of if they'll watch. And they go back in time to then, which is day before the partition of India, and some stuff ensues. They meet Prem, who is the person that her grandma is going to marry. But, oh shit, that's not her grandfather. Also, Prem is Hindu. What the heck? They're Muslim. It's a whole thing, because it's the partition of India. Then they're preparing for the wedding. Manish, who is Prem's younger brother and a real dick, continues to sort of be a dick. He disapproves of the wedding of a Hindu and a Muslim. Then, oh boy. I wish I could remember the grandma's name.
Damn. It's not a P, is it? No, you?
I think it's just the U. I'm gonna look it up. Umbreen.
Damn.
There we go. Got it. Umbreen is gonna marry Prem. Now I've lost Manish's name. Umbreen is going to marry Prem. Manish, who is Prem's younger brother, disapproves of it. Then Umbreen's mother, Yaz's great-grandmother, says an excellent line, which is, "Look, demons!" They turn around, and there are nasty-looking alien boys who are just hanging out, I think they see them. And then later they find a holy man that they saw previously on the street, and he is dead, with the demon standing over him. The doctor and Graham and Prem go to investigate. They find their hive. It's unclear if it's a spaceship. They just call it a hive of the Thajarians, which the doctor...
Their house or something? I don't know.
I think it's maybe their house, perhaps. It's not...
do they sleep anywhere? There's no beds or anything. Like, we don't see other rooms.
No, and there's also just two of them. So...
yeah, you know what? I think Doctor Who's got to go deeper in the world building here.
Yeah, I mean, hey,
yeah.
You can't win them all. I really like the...
I feel like they're less like, representatives of race and more just like voluntourists,
Voluntourists. It's the We charity.
That's their job.
Yeah.
No, they're like the nurses that go around making sure no one dies alone.
It's good. Well, So
like
they don't know that yet. They think that they're assassins. And they're very nervous, and the doctor starts doing science about it. Then they go back and they have the wedding, and it's beautiful, and they have the doctor does henna and talks about how she used to be a man, and Manish continues to be an asshole about the whole partition thing, and then the doctor reconciles with the Thajarians, and the Thajarians tell the doctor their whole deal, which is, as you were saying, that they were a great ancient warrior race, but now they travel the universe bearing witness to people's deaths, which I think is pretty neat. And then at the end, Manish, who is like a Hindu nationalist and like trying to get the Muslims out of India, arrives with a bunch of armed men on horseback to threaten, Umbreen and her mum and Prem. And Prem dies, and Umbreen escapes, and that's the episode. Then Yaz goes back and talks with old Umbreen again, and then we get a lovely, traditionally Indian music version of the Doctor Who theme. Oh
yeah, that was really cool.
It was very cool. I forgot about that. So that's the dang episode. Now, what'd you think?
I think like the first initial reaction that I was had even while watching it was just like, I remember this like one fucking episode of like I watched like a like about half of like the, what was it, Torchwood?
Yeah.
Like the first season of Torchwood. And there's just that one episode where it's just like, we thought it was aliens, but actually it's just a serial killer. Oh shit.
Yeah.
So it had like a little element of that where it's just like, and the real monsters were humans all along. So I had a little bit of that, but I will say like the historical element was a lot more interesting than what fucking Torchwood did with that one episode. It's just like, it's just a serial killer. Whoops. Where it's just like the aliens are just sort of there, and like it does provide this like historical moment, which is like cool because like Doctor Who, I know like the original concept was like half of it's like futuristic sci-fi stuff and like science education, and the other half is like historical education.
Yeah.
So I do think this was like a cool opportunity to have that. And I feel like the historical education element wasn't really there for like that time that I was watching it. It was really just like, we are in this place, but it's like something that's already basically familiar to you as like a Western audience. It's like, here we are, it's World War II. You know what happens in World War II. We don't have to go into like, you know who Winston Churchill is. Now there's Daleks, and it's not a big deal. It's really just a backdrop to the alien story. And I found this was an interesting reversal of that, but like could have been integrated better. Like the aliens really, in the end, have no bearing on like the whole Hindu nationalist plot, which is like very interesting, but like alien, they're two different things essentially.
I mean, yeah, so it's true. It is kind of just like a bait and switch, where it's like these very nasty, horrible aliens that the Doctor thinks one thing about, but it's actually not the case. Are actually like,
it's also like a very old Doctor Who plot twist. It's like the aliens were nice the whole time.
I mean, yeah, like literally. And then the real monster was man. But you're like, I know for like certainly there was a lot of talk when this episode like initially aired of like, oh damn, I don't know about this big historical like event. I wonder why. It's because of, you know.
Why would English audiences not particularly care about this episode?
Yeah, I mean, totally. Like whitewashing
colonial history. Beautiful.
a lack of knowledge. So that's definitely cool that it like spent a lot of time to sort of like unpack the stuff around it. The partition. I mean, not a whole lot of time, but you know, the amount of time that you can spend in a 50-minute episode of a sci-fi TV show.
They almost like explain too much of it, like in this sort of like exposition-y way, where it's like all the people from the time period is like, yo, it's a thing happening, like tomorrow they're gonna do this thing and this thing. When I feel like it, like in just like a purely like writing level, like they could have just had like one of the two companions who like aren't Pakistani / Indian just be like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on, because like they'd be the audience surrogate in this one situation.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. There's a bit of like, let's gather around the radio so that I can explain to you what's going on. And like, yeah. There is some good writing, I think, in like Graham says when they're like explaining why they're there to Prem, like, oh, we're family friends, and Graham goes, yeah, we're all the way from England, and Prem is just like, you might want to keep that to yourself. Right?
that was a good bit. That was a good bit.
Let's maybe just.
I think that was like the moment that was just like, oh, that's what this episode's about. Spicy.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into this. Let's go.
Yeah.
And did not disappoint in that regard.
I've written down some things that I wanted to mention because I really enjoyed them. The line by Graham that goes, "Is that how they kill them? Some sort of fast-dissolving poisonous dust?" is a classic little bit of exposition that is, again, not true. I just wanted to highlight it because I think it's silly. But a very good bit is when the Doctor does make a joke about well, when she references having been a man, and Yaz says, "Oh, what a fun, silly joke." And the Doctor's like, "Yes, what a fun, silly joke."
Very specifically, it's like, yes, me switching genders, that's never done that in my life.
Never done that.
I will say the alien costumes were like so corny. It was so funny.
They're very corny, yeah. It's very like person in a suit with like bat ears and fangs and fangs.
Yeah, like the heads, like I will say like the multiple eyes thing was like spooky. So it's just like I wonder why like all these people in the area are just like so spooked by these demons. But like the first time I saw the armor just like from the back is like this is a fucking Power Rangers villain.
Completely, like with
It was
the
great.
sort of like shoulder things.
It's just like so extra. It's great.
It's very extra.
Yeah, I feel like the key thing to always remember is like watching. It's like this is a kids show, and I am not a child. In the end, like this is like Doctor Who always was.
I mean, yeah, yeah. And hey, I always love a practical effect versus like CGI. Like
Fair
imagine
enough.
those bad boys, but CGI. I would argue would be much worse. Um, anyhow, that's Demons of the Punjab, and I think that I want to get on to talking about Spyfall Part Two, so I can get your take on that as well. And Zoom is telling me my internet connection is unstable. Yes, there he is.
Okay, there you go.
There he is. It's Nam.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, Spyfall Part Two, which is kind of fun. I got you to watch the second part of a thing and not the first part.
I have seen the first part, just like incidentally, just like I decided to do that back when the season first dropped, just be like, oh, I wonder what's going on with Doctor Who these days. There's a lot of discourse around this. Let's just check it out. And I was like, yeah,
for sure.
it's chill.
That was, however, back in January, which feels, at least to me, like 7 years ago.
Yeah, just a bit. It's amazing because like just like the beginning of even just like July simultaneously feels like yesterday and 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So time is fucked. Just like in the world of Doctor Who.
Just like in the world of Doctor Who. What an excellent segue. Thank you, Nam. Spyfall Part 2.
And now we'll start talking about Doctor Who as if we weren't before.
I know. You've segued us back into talking about Doctor Who. It's masterful.
Yes.
Series 12, Episode 2, written by Chris Chibnall, directed by Lee Haven Jones. This is obviously the continuation of Spyfall Part 1. Anyways, what happens? The Doctor is in a void universe or something, and meets a woman named Ada. And she gets zapped back to
34?
Yes.
34.
1834, where there's a big exhibition happening, and there's a man advertising. Shit, I wrote it down because it was so freaking good. Touch the magneto, powerful shocks. I laughed a lot at that dumb line by that one extra. Anyhow, meanwhile, Yaz, Ryan, and Graham are in an airplane that has just had the cockpit blown out of it, and they are crashing. Ryan finds some notes from the Doctor that have been left in the airplane, and they end up flying the plane safely through Doctor Science Magic. Meanwhile, the Master has shown up in 1834 and is threatening the Doctor and has something that he has to tell her, but then Ada shoots him with a steam-powered gun and throws a home grenade at him, and they run away. And the Doctor discovers that she is Ada Lovelace because she's working with Charles Babbage, Ada Lovelace being a foundational person in the creation of the computer. Meanwhile, Yaz, Graham, and Ryan kind of just go on the run. They're hunting down Daniel Barton to like see what he's up to, because he's like working with the Doctor and also the mysterious glowing aliens, whatever they are. They find the sculpture of the dancing person in Babbage's office, and it produces another one of those glowing beings, which teleports the Doctor and Ada to 1943, Paris, where they meet Noor Inayat Khan, who is a spy for the British. And the Master is also there, of course, and he's a Nazi, which is fine. And he intimidates them, and then the Doctor goes and meets him at the top of the Eiffel Tower, and he tells her that Gallifrey has burned. Someone burned it, razed it all to the ground. You should really go back and check it out for yourself. It's messed up. Meanwhile, Graham, Yaz, and Ryan, I don't know. Oh, they end up finding Daniel Barton's mom, who he killed by some means.
He's the glowy guys.
Yeah,
the flew into her.
But they don't quite know what it does. Anyhow, it's eventually revealed through a like ridiculous sort of villain keynote speech that he has this technology to rewrite human DNA like you're formatting a memory stick, and use everyone as hard drives. Anyhow, the Doctor leaves the Master to be captured by the Nazis, I guess, and then goes with Noor and Ada in the Master's TARDIS to 2020 to meet up with her friends. The Master is also there, having just like hung out on Earth for 77 years, I guess, and confronts them. He is zapped away by the aliens that he betrayed. The Doctor makes the plane thing so that sort of loop is closed, and then they go off on their merry way. The Doctor's friends ask her about where she's from because she's very mysterious, and she tells them about Gallifrey, and they ask if they can go, and she says no, but then she goes to Gallifrey and she finds that it was burned. Oh.
Yeah, we're back.
Nice. Anyways, the Doctor in a hologram the Master in a hologram reveals that he burned Gallifrey to the ground because he found out some big secret that the founding fathers of Gallifrey lied to them, and that their history was not what they were told in school. And I guess we'll solve that by the end of the series. So that's Spyfall Part 2. Hey, what'd you think of this one?
There's too much fucking going on. It's like, just why are there so many fucking plots? It's just, like the going back. It's like I guess like they need to tie in this like computers thing. It's like we need to go to the original computer, except that isn't really explained until at the end of the computer arc. But then it's just like, just decide what you want to do. Are you doing the computer thing or the spy thing?
Yeah, because it's...
But also, like, you don't need either of the historical segments as it is.
Right, because they're spies from another dimension who exist in the weird, like, tube world, and are planted across Earth and across history on people that were influential in the development of computers, which is, like, Ada Lovelace and Steve Jobs, apparently, according to the display.
See, that's already too much shit going on with just like, there's a tube world, and also we implant on humans, and then also like the computer. Like, that's too much. Just do the spy thing.
It's way too much.
A James Bond movie. It's fine.
I mean, and they would. I mean, you saw Spyfall Part 1 a while ago.
Yeah, Part 1 was just like, it's just a dumb little spy flick.
They just do a dumb James Bond thing. They call it Spyfall for the only reason that they're doing a pun on Skyfall.
Yeah, and Stephen Fry's there for like 5 minutes and then gets shot, and you know what? He does great.
Yeah, it doesn't really have a whole lot to do with the spy thing, which is a shame because it is called Spyfall Part 2 rather than something else.
Just desperately needed focus.
It did need focus. And they needed, I think, to mention that the company is called Vor more, because they mentioned that a lot in Part 1, and it was sorely lacking.
I completely forgot what the name of the company was. I also, like, I just assumed that, like, Spyfall Part 1 would be completely irrelevant because this seemed to have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, you get all the basic points, and also there's like a little previously on Doctor Who thing beforehand. But yeah, the company that Daniel Barton works for, which is like a Google type thing, is called Vor. So that's fun. But yeah,
I didn't want to think about that, but thank you.
No, I mean, yeah, there's way too much. I am with you there, because there's the aliens and there's the time travel, and then there's Daniel Barton's whole supervillain plan, which I guess it's just like evil, but There's not really a good explanation. And he kills his mom in a really
For
terrible
no
for
reason.
no reason.
It's just like, I'm in the country. I better just fucking kill my mom while I'm here.
Kill my mom while I'm here. I want to know, Nam, what you thought of the Master. This
Okay, well, the actor is having the fucking time of his life out there, so I
Yeah,
did
it's
like
not
just
long.
appreciate like he's just going nuts on camera, and that's just great. Like I like his dynamic with. Oh, I think you. Oh no, you just weren't blinking. I see. He had a good rapport with Jodie Whittaker, and yeah, I really liked him as like an actor. Like I know what happens at the end of the season, so it's just like this character was kind of wasted, but like the actor is doing a good job, and I hope he's gonna do a lot more shit with this. Yeah, I do feel though like the thing though like this between this and Demons of Punjab is just like there's just too many characters.
Yeah. You
And
feel that
especially
in Demons of Punjab as well?
yeah, it's like in Demons of Punjab, it was like there's like obviously like this is Yaz's episode, but like I feel like the three companion thing is just like unwieldy and like they don't get to have like distinct personalities enough from each other, you know.
Yeah.
I guess Graham gets to play like I'm the dopey old white guy, and that's like a nice contrast to the usual like sort of companion dynamic. But it's just like I don't know, they don't get to. It's I never feel a lot of times that like these characters are just like this is the only person in this scene who could have said that thing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's a particularly weird line in Spyfall Part Two where Barton has like hacked into everything and is talking to them and threatening them and making them go on the run. When he says, "Oh, hello, Ryan," or should I say, Logan? And as far as I can remember, that is never explained. Because they're
Oh,
like,
I just thought assumed that I just assumed that was his real name or something.
I mean, I guess so, but like,
Is it in Spyfall Part 1 or something?
because no, it's never mentioned.
Okay.
I'm pretty certain it is never ever mentioned in all of Series 12. Like that's the reasonable assumption that it's like his real name, but like, under what circumstances is he not using it? Where did he get Ryan from? Like, what like emotional weight does this have for him? It's never mentioned and it's never explored because there's too dang much.
It's like I've heard like Chibnall's writing is not the strongest, and I see that. It's just like I feel like this especially is just trying really hard to be like a proper like Doctor Who season opener. It's like we got to pull out all the flips and tricks. It's like we're gonna travel to lots of time periods. It's gonna have a modern plot, but also like we gotta have historical figure X and Y, and also the Master's got to come back, and that's just like too many things to do at once if you're trying to do like a satire or whatever on like the encroaching power of like tech companies at the same time as like do a commentary on like spy stories in past and present, and then also the Master is a Nazi, and also like this is so much, and just I desperately need you to just do one thing at a time. You have a whole season to do your thing. I mean, he's gonna be like a head writer for like quite some time, right? So like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, he's got the show, right? So he can tell the stories that he wants. He doesn't have to try and jam them all in. Well, it might be slightly going against the nature of the purpose of this to say that this is not the best episode of Series 12. It does get better. But at this point, having discussed these two dang episodes, I would like to know, Nam, if you're interested in watching any more Doctor Who. You can be honest.
I think I would check out an episode here or there, like per other people's recommendations, because sort of like the fun part of Doctor Who that like I always liked is just like it can literally just take place anytime, any setting. so they can like tell whatever story they want to. We saw that with Demons of Punjab. Let's just tell a story about the partition of India. That's perfectly reasonable within the rules of our universe. And also, like, I always found the lore very interesting. So I found like with the twist they were pulling with like the end of 12, the series was just like, oh, that's interesting. I can see why people don't like it, but I think it's like a cool thing. So I feel like I would just keep reading Wikipedia articles now and then. It's just like, where's the lore at right now? And then every now and then, if someone were just like, yo, like we got a cool guest writer on who did like a really interesting thing with like this universe, then it's just like, yeah, sure, I'll check that out. But I don't think like I would come back to like watching it full time or anything.
Hey, fair enough. Fair enough. That's great. Incredible. Thank you so much. I'm going to stop recording now.
Hanging around this town, 'cause the women in Virginia gonna turn a damper down. Well, a mailman passed, but he did not